14.
Bouncing ball towards short. There's one. There's two. Raise the Jolly Roger in Detroit. And give the W to Deolis Guerra.
Guerra's first major league win. It was an all-hands-on-deck effort last night and into this morning for the Pirates as they took game one 5-4 against the Tigers. And we're back at Comerica Park for game number 2. Hi again, everybody, with John Wehner. I'm Tim Neverett. It took a full 14 innings, 5 hours and 30 minutes last night, and as I said, into this morning. But, John, when you have to play that long, it's always worth the wait when you get the victory.
Yeah, I think it's been over a year since the Pirates won an extra inning game on the road, so it was certainly a welcome sight to see Neil Walker come up big, get the big hit, and give the Buccos an extra innings win.
Neil Walker has been outstanding lately. He's been reaching base safely in his last 8 games.
4 home runs and 24 RBIs for Neil Walker, and that to him is unacceptable. He loves driving in runs. He had a big year with the home run ball last year. It really hasn't come for him. This hopefully will jumpstart him. I know he's been hitting second a lot. He's hitting second again tonight, going out of the zone, that high away fastball to drive in Josh Harrison last night. Hopefully this gets him on one of those tears where he's hitting the ball in the ballpark and driving in a bunch of guys.
And Walker has traditionally hit the ball well during the month of July. Tonight, the baseball goes to the wily old veteran right-hander A.J. Burnett. He hopes to come up with another win. He's been pretty good on the road this season, 4-1 in 8 starts.
Yeah, with the exception of a couple of starts, he's been outstanding. It's pretty remarkable. The 2.01 ERA, that's third best in the National League. And, the sink, the curveball, the strikeout's still there. He's been more efficient. A little longer his last time out. His start, 110 pitches in those 6 innings. But A.J. has been outstanding and hopes to have a good one here tonight against the Tigers.
Burnett with a winning record against Detroit at 6-3. The Pirates will face former Cincinnati Red Alfredo Simon. He's beaten the Pirates once this year back in April as a Tiger.
Has pretty good numbers against the Pirates, and the Pirates know him well. In fact, 8 scoreless earlier this year against the Bucs. He only allowed a couple of hits. A guy that's just going to throw basically sinker, cutter, and a split-fingered fastball, and he struggled his last couple of times out. And so hopefully tonight he continues to struggle, and the Bucs carry over and have a big offensive performance.
Alfredo Simon and A.J. Burnett, the pitching matchup in Game 2 of this 3-game interleague series in Detroit. The Pirates hope to keep the magic alive in the Motor City as they go for a series win. It's the Bucs and the Tigers. Lineups and first pitch coming up on Root Sports.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks.
Back here in Detroit, Comerica Park. Gorgeous night for a ball game. Much better than last night. We dealt with the drizzle last night, but doesn't seem to be that way tonight. Plenty of Bucks fans here to see Game 2. Pirates and the Tigers. See Garrett Cole last night. He ended up with a no decision. Had a pretty good outing too for his start last night, but ended up with nothing in the record to show for it. It certainly held the Tigers down, giving up just 2 earned runs. Josh Harrison will lead off tonight. He's back in the lineup as we take a look at our Toyota lineup for the Pirates. Harrison, then Neil Walker. Walker, his 51st career game-winning RBI last night. Andrew McCutchen hitting in the 3rd spot than Starling Marte. Pedro Alvarez will be the designated hitter. Francisco Cervelli will hit next, then Gregory Polanco, Jordy Mercer, and Sean Rodriguez bats 9th against Tigers right-hander Alfredo Simon.
Yeah, Simon, a great start against the Pirates earlier this year, opening series at home at PNC. Overall, a 3.57 ERA. That has raised almost a run just from his last couple of starts where he got roughed up a little bit. 63 punch-outs and 85 2/3. Opponents hitting .245 against the right-hander.
And A.J. Burnett will oppose him tonight. Burnett 6-3. Out of his 14 prior starts, 12 starts have been quality starts. For the Detroit Tigers, defensively. See, J.D. Martinez had a big home run in the 8th inning last night. He'll be in right field. Davis in center, Cespedes in left, Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, and Cabrera around the infield with James McCann doing the catching. Underway from Detroit with a strike. Harrison hitting .280 to start action tonight. And a pinch hit double into deep right center field last night. Ended up scoring the winning run. On his double, a bit of interesting base running occurred, to say the least, by Gorkis Hernandez, who was on base in front of him. 1-1 pitch. And Harrison down to third, backhanded by Castellanos. Throws low, and Harrison is out.
Well, that's a tough one to pick. When a guy doesn't throw the ball hard, a first baseman's used to the velocity from the left side of the infield. Guy throwing it over there with something on it. Castellano, that little just kind of babied that throw a little bit over there. That's a tough little pick for Cabrera.
Neil Walker now will come up with 1 out, nobody on. Walker to face Simon. Neil hitting .259. Neil sits safely in 4 straight. And he takes a strike. And Rock, what about the Rivers Casino tips to win tonight?
Well, against Simon, you don't want to chase the splitter. He's throwing it a ton. More than 1/3 of his pitches are to split fastball, especially with 2 strikes, and he gets a ton of 2-strike swings and misses on that split. So you want to try to lay off that, and for A.J., be good against the right-handers. A lot of righties in the lineup, just 1 left-hander. That's Victor Martinez. A.J. against righties, .292, .213 batting average against left-handers.
Ball of 2 strikes to Walker. And Neil takes low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gorkis Hernandez came into pinch run last night and then forgot to touch up running around second base. He thought that Rajai Davis had caught the ball when he dove for it off the bat of Harrison in the 14th inning. But in fact, Davis did not make the catch. And Hernandez, who went around second back toward first, forgot to touch up when he had to go to third base. And he and Harrison came very close to colliding on the base pass.
He obviously knows the role. It's just one of those things where, you know, they're caught up in the moment. And he touched the bag on his way back to first, but ran right by it going back to third.
And Walker, a 5-game hitting streak as he is aboard with a 1-out single.
And thankfully for Neil Walker, you forget about the miscue, the poor base running from Hernandez. If you lose that game, it's an embarrassing moment. It's going to be highlighted. A lot of people are going to talk about it over and over again. But Neil Walker came up with the big hit, and then you can kind of laugh at it. Just let it go after the Bucco victory.
Walker aboard, 1 out, and the batter is Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen enters this game with 127 career hits during interleague play. Second most out of any Pirate. Jack Wilson, 132. Foul ball, so Kutch right on the heels of Jack, and will end up passing him this season, you'd think. Could be this series.
Yeah.
Things go well for him. 1 strike to McCutchen. Kutch has hit safely in 7 straight games. Pulled foul again. Fastball at 94. So it's 0-2 to Andrew. A little bit of a breeze tonight. Different kind of night tonight than last night in terms of the weather. In fact, yesterday the tarp was on the field about 3:45 in the afternoon. They didn't take BP. Today, no problems at all. That breeze blowing out toward left center field. In the dirt, blocked by McCann.
Look at Simon and you know how well he has pitched. He gets that nice block from McCann. For a guy that had a 2.58 ERA just a couple of starts ago, and really no breaking ball. He'll throw an occasional curveball, but pretty much fastball, cutter, splitter.
Ball and 2 strikes to Kutch. Walker short lead at first base. Simon delivers. That's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Over the course of the 7-game hitting streak, McCutchen hitting .400. Home run, 3 RBIs. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch coming from Simon as soon as he's ready. And McCutchen hits this one toward left field. Cespedes on the run. He'll make the catch. And there are 2 men out. Walker back to first.
You know, with a guy like Cespedes, a player the Pirates haven't faced much, and you know he was in Oakland, and you know he's been traded a couple of times now. You know he has power and a good arm. You know, I'm surprised at how well he moves. So McCutchen hits his cutter pretty hard. And Cespedes, I thought, was a bigger guy, more of a lumbering body, but man, a good athlete, runs well, pretty good outfielder. It's for average as well as power.
Two men out, top of the first. Starling Marte facing Simon. Throw to first base. Walker gets back. Marte has hit safely in 6 straight games. He had an interesting bunt base hit last night. Right down the first baseline. It was bunted so firmly that if it did not hit the glove of the first baseman, Cabrera, it would have gone down the right field line for an easy double. And when have you ever seen a guy bunt for a double?
Yeah. And I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's a safe guess that Marte wasn't trying to bunt the ball down the first base line. But hit it off the barrel, bunted it hard. Cabrera was off the base and made a nice stop. Or it would have been at least a double because right fielder J.D. Martinez was kind of just standing there, wasn't really backing up the play.
1 ball, 1 strike to Marte. Marte is 11 for 30 over his last 6 games against American League teams. Neil Walker with a 1-out base hit at first. He gets back safely. You look at this Tiger lineup. The offense that they run out there and some of the pitching too. You wonder how they're in 3rd place in the American League Central.
Yeah, I think they've had some issues with the rotation, obviously not having Verlander. You expect them to score a bunch of runs, although they do not have a lot of lefties in the lineup.
And Simon paying a lot of attention to Walker. Walker's stolen 2 bases this year. And for some reason, the Tigers are convinced he's perhaps going to be on the move. 2 balls and 1 strike. Simon making his 6th start against the Pirates, his 20th appearance. He has appeared against the bunch, but more in relief than as a starter. 4-4 overall against Pittsburgh with a 2.98 ERA. And Marte, ground ball left side. Iglesias with a stab. Oh, what a throw! And it gets away from Kinsler, and Walker unable to move up.
Well, we'll talk very highly of this shortstop Iglesias, a wizard defensively. The people here in Detroit will already tell you he's the best shortstop in baseball, and it covers a lot of ground. Had to go a long way here, and falling away from second base. And gets that ball to Kinsler on time, but just a little off line, a little short with the throw. It was a great effort.
Ruled a base hit for Marte, so he has hit it 7 straight. Two on, 2 out for the designated hitter, Pedro Alvarez. Went 1 for 2 with a double. He was hit by a pitch and intentionally walked last night. Inside ball 1. Pedro the DH tonight. Francisco Cervelli was the DH last night. First time he's ever been a DH in his career. Pedro a 244 average. 10 home runs, looking to add on to that. That's one thing about Simon lately. He's been giving up the long ball. Over his last 9 innings of work, he has given up 3 homers. Where is Max? That's what the Tigers fans want to know.
With the team ERA over 4, that's probably why they are where they are record-wise. But certainly that ERA higher because no Max Scherzer.
Pedro hits this one up in the air to right center field. Rajay Davis, the center fielder, calling for it. And he'll make the catch. 2 hits and the Pirates leave 2. Nothing across. A.J. Burnett coming out. Tigers coming to the plate for the first time. They'll face A.J. Burnett, some of the dads of the Pirates players in attendance here. Take a look at the Honda lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Rajai Davis will lead off. Ian Kinsler bats second, and Miguel Cabrera third. Victor Martinez, then Yoenis Cespedes, J.D. Martinez, hitting .353 this year against the Pirates with a pair of home runs and 4 runs batted in. Nick Castellanos is at third base. James McCann back behind the plate, and Jose Iglesias batting ninth.
A.J. Burnett wants to continue this fine season. 6-3, only 6 wins because of a lack of run support, especially in April. The ERA at 2.01, still striking them out. Just 3 homers allowed.
First pitch to Davis is in for a strike. A.J. begins the night 36th on Major League Baseball's all-time strikeout list. He could climb up as many as 2 spots tonight. Pitch inside, 1-1. With 5 strikeouts, he'll tie Jim Cott for 35th. There's the 1-1. And Rajai Davis pops this one out of play. Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. See where he is right now. He is past Sam McDowell. With 5 to catch Jim Cott, 8 to get Mark Langston. And former Tiger Jack Morris would be next on the list. 33rd all time. And a bouncer to short. Good hop for Mercer. 1 out. Rajai Davis makes the first out for Detroit. That'll make way for A.J. to face the second baseman, Ian Kinsler.
A.J. Like when he gets the early contact, the ground balls, he seems more content with the ground ball nowadays than the strikeout.
Kinsler with a .262 average to begin the ball game. Kinsler had a base hit in the bottom of the 14th, but he would be left on base when Victor Martinez came up and hit into a game-ending double play. After Kinsler, Cabrera had a base hit. Pirate 1-run lead was being threatened until the double play was hit into this one in the gap right center field on the run. Polanco makes the catch. Boy, Gregory Polanco stepping on the gas, cutting off the gap, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, that looked like a gapper for sure. I'm thinking Kinsler, once he hits this ball, thinks he has at least 2 bases as that fastball ends up down the middle. And Gregory Polanco, those long strides, gets over there easily. Look at the ground that he's covering.
Such a big outfield here. Once you get past that 365 marker in right center field, it becomes vast. Cabrera fooled on that pitch. 0-1. 2 outs, base is empty for Detroit in the first. Cabrera this season, big numbers. Strike called, it's 0-2.
Conversation, the home plate umpire Marvin Hudson.
Fouled back to the screen. He stays alive. Chris Siegel, the umpire at third base. He was behind the plate in game 1 last night. He had an interesting night.
He had some unhappy hitters and pitchers.
0-2 pitch to Cabrera. One ball, 2 strikes now. One in the dirt, blocked by Cervelli. Well, Cabrera, he has been well decorated, well recognized for what he can do with a baseball bat. And he strikes out. So Burnett gets him swinging. And the Tigers gone in order. We'll head to the second in Detroit.
An inning between the Pirates and the Tigers from Comerica Park. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Well, the Pirates got some good news coming out of Altoona as the Eastern League All-Stars were announced today, and the Altoona Curve are well represented. 5 guys going: Josh Bell, Max Moroff, Adam Frazier, Dan Gamache, and Jason Creasy. Now, for Frazier, it's his second selection. Moroff, Gamache, and Creasy, it's each their first. But we're going to key on Josh Bell for a minute here. This is his third consecutive All-Star selection while playing minor league baseball, and he's having a good first season with his transition from the outfield to first base. Now, I spoke with Kevin Young, the former Pirate, who spent some time with Bell, and Young told me he's made a lot of progress since he last worked with him in the Arizona Fall League. Young said Bell is a very smart kid who makes some adjustments really well. Now, he did say he's in a place where he's still learning, but he's doing it through experience and making good decisions and asking the right questions. Now, Bell has a fielding percentage over 980 this season, which will rank as the second highest of his 4-year professional career to date. So, Tim and John, some good stuff with Josh Bell. Third consecutive All-Star selection, this time the Eastern League. But been a good ride for him and the other 4 guys this year in Altoona.
Well, thanks, Robbie. John, it would seem that Mr. Bell's on his way.
Yeah, you know, the bat's there, big guy, switch hitter. A lot harder to go from the outfield to the infield than it is for an infielder to move to the outfield. That's a tough adjustment. Not used to getting ground balls smashed at you from 90 feet away. Footwork, throws, be quicker, decision making. A lot of different things go into that. You know, first base isn't the easiest position, as a lot of people think.
2-1 to Cervelli. Hits this one in the air to right center field, fairly deep. Running after it, Rajay Davis, and just before the track, he makes the catch. To that deep part in right center.
Yeah, that's a shame when you hit a ball well in that direction and it stays in the air. And with speed like Rajay Davis and Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco in the last inning, they're going to go and get him.
If you play the outfield in Detroit, you better have some wheels. Otherwise, the ball's going to get past you. It's just so big. And Polanco takes a strike. Saw Polanco cover the ground in right field. A little slop drop at 66 miles an hour he watched. That one in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gregory moving down in the order for this ball game tonight. Batted leadoff in game 1. 233 hitter. He was hit by a pitch last night, and Simon came dangerously close there. Alfredo Simon, last year an all-star with Cincinnati. First time he'd been an all-star, and that one right between Greg Gibson's legs, the crew chief.
Typically you're safe as an umpire when you're out in the outfield grass, but Polanco hits that one right on the button. Gibson didn't know whether to go left or right. Had to get up.
Angled off the side of the mound, it looked like, and up right through the wickets.
I think he thought it was going to be to his right, and that ball had some hook to it. So he kind of ran himself right into the hook.
Third hit for the Pirates off of Simon. 1 on and 1 out for Jordy Mercer. Mercer 1 for 5 in game 1. He's hitting .382 with 5 doubles in his last 8 games. And over those 8 games, 4 times he's had multi-hit efforts. Slowly raising that average up, just under 240 now. Throw to first. For a while, John, it was like he was struggling just to get out of the ones.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years in a row now. There's struggles in April and May, and then he gets hot in June. You go back a month and a half ago, we had never thought that Mercer would be on July 1st in the lineup with a higher average than Gregory Polanco.
And Mercer with a nice piece of hitting goes the other way. Polanco held up there by Kinsler, looked like, and now Mercer heading for second base, and he is called out.
I think we'll have a review. I don't know. Watching it live, the ball arrived around the same time as Jordy. Jordy's now walking off, which isn't a good sign. Clint Hurdle up out of the dugout.
Good job, first of all, by Mercer taking that pitch down and away and going with it.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of hitting there on the hit and run. And he sees the bobble. Martinez, strong throw right on the money.
That'll be 9-4 on the putout, trying to advance. And with 2 men out, Pirates have a man at third. JD Martinez with the outfield assist. There'll be no challenge by the Pirates. Sean Rodriguez takes the ball low and away. It's starting to seem, John, that every single tag play is being carefully scrutinized, and a number of them get reviewed now.
Yeah, guys coming off the bases, and so many bang plays. I think the umpire is really good at force plays, but those tag plays, yeah, everything's being looked at.
And Rodriguez pulls this one. That's a foul ball. The throw from JD Martinez.
Well, that's so close. We've seen a number of replays, and they've all been too close to call.
One pitch. 2 balls and a strike. And on a lot of the calls that are made, whether they're safe or out, it's what you can prove.
Yeah, but and again, these closer plays, if Gibson calls Mercer safe, I don't know if there's a good enough replay to say that he's out. It's just one of those bang where there's nothing conclusive.
Polanco at third. The error charged to JD Martinez in right, allowing Polanco to get to third base.
Really? Well, that's bizarre.
That's what they said.
That is, Polanco was stealing on the throw. He stopped at second, but still, where that ball was hit, he's getting the third no matter what, whether he comes up clean or not.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Sean Rodriguez. And he strikes out. Pirates leave a man at third. 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. No score after an inning and a half. Inning, Victor Martinez, the designated hitter for the Tigers, getting set to lead off. And after he was hit by a pitch last night, this is what he said. I mean, I have no respect for no one on that team, including Cole and their coaching staff. Well, Victor Martinez hit by a pitch. Clint Hurdle asked about it today, and he said, quote, I wasn't aware he was the voice of reason, unquote. So Victor Martinez was upset last night. Clint Hurdle really didn't have much more than a general comment about it today.
There's always going to be two sides.
And a pitch to Victor Martinez, in for a strike.
One side will say reason, the other side will say no reason. Just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes it's cut and dried. Both sides get it. In most cases, it's not going to be an agreement.
And Alvarez was plunked by Verlander after Martinez was plunked. So whatever Martinez was thinking about looked like it was answered by Verlander, and that probably should have been the only answer. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Martinez down on strikes. Strikeout number 2 for Burnett. Here's what happened. Marte got hit on the elbow by Verlander, and that was the first pitch to Martinez. Martinez staring at Cole. That was the first pitch to Alvarez the next inning. Then the warnings came. And later in the game, Wayne Hardy hit Gregory Polanco.
And you can argue Verlander wasn't trying to hit Marte. Hardy wasn't trying to hit Polanco. I don't know if you can make the argument with the other two guys being hit. But at times, who cares if there was intent or not? You got your star players up there and hitting them up in the hands or the forearm or in the back, like we've seen McCutchen hitting numerous times. Whether it's intentional or not, you're going to go inside, be more careful, or there may be retaliation.
I know the Pirates are sensitive about it. Andrew McCutchen had to leave the game earlier this week. The first inning after being hit on the elbow. Pirates lead Major League Baseball, being hit 44 times this year, including the 3 times in the game last night. Cespedes passed a diving Harrison out into left field, and that is a base hit.
Pretty good timing there from Josh Harrison, just not enough length. needed maybe 6 more inches. He leaves his feet. And looked like if he could reach it, he may have made the play, but this ball was hit extremely hard. Cespedes, a big, strong man, but just out of the reach.
One out, Cespedes aboard. J.D. Martinez, the right fielder, pops this one up out of play for strike one. He was the culprit in the 8th inning last night with a 2-run homer that tied the game. Ultimately forced extra innings. But what a season he's having. 20 home runs already, 11 of them in the month of June. And he's pushing 50 RBI. And they are openly pushing for Yoenis Cespedes here to go to the All-Star game. They're openly, they're wearing T-shirts today. Vote Yo. Yo, the short name for Yoenis. But the guy who's producing the most in the outfield is at the plate right now. He's got twice as many home runs as Cespedes. There goes Cespedes to second. This ball hit in the air to right field. Will Polanco get it? No. It is off the wall. Cespedes held at second base and now advances to third. Martinez back to first base, and there are runners at the corners and one out.
Boy, some more poor base running here. So J.D. Martinez is staying inside the ball, working the ball the other way. That pitch down the zone, you pull it, it's a ground ball. It goes the other way, and not the greatest route from Polanco. He started over, then back, just over his long reach, but a great job of playing it off the wall and getting a perfect throw off to Jordy Mercer. But Cespedes over at second, uncertain. The hold up, made sure he touched the bag, got to third.
Nick Castellanos, their third baseman, takes strike one. 0-1 to Castellanos. He had a couple of hits in the game last night before being taken out. Andrew Romine replaced him late. Oh, 1. And now it's 0-2. Good pitch from AJ.
You have the double play in order because of the good throw by Polanco. AJ may be thinking strikeout now that he's ahead 0-2. Bet we'll see that good curveball here.
And Castellanos into left field, and the Tigers will get on the board as Cespedes scores. It's 1-0. 3 straight hits off Burnett in the second inning.
That was the curveball. I don't know if it was the real good one.
Well, he lost him on an 0-2 pitch.
And probably tried to bury it in the dirt and leaves it on the outer third of the plate, just below the knee, too close. Too near the strike zone. And Castellanos comes up with a big hit.
Cespedes in for the first run of the ball game. And here is James McCann. Pretty talented young catcher the Tigers have. Strike one to McCann. Sunday, McCann walked off the White Sox. He has 2 walk-off home runs this year. First Tigers rookie to do that. 1 out. First and second, and there's a strike called. 0-2.
Good backdoor sinker. AJ pounding the strike zone. 25 pitches, only 5 balls.
McCann had 3 hits last night, including a ball that went high off the right center field wall that a fan interfered with. It was very close to a 3-run homer. Ended up getting credit for a double on it.
Tell you what, he looks like a good player. Has a cannon of an arm. throws a quick release, good behind the plate, and obviously has some pop and can hit a little bit. Alex Avila, the regular catcher, comes back. I wonder, does he deserve more playing time in McCann the way he's been playing?
1-2, a high bouncer. Walker will field it, throws to Mercer for one, and to first, safe. That play just took too long to develop as Walker had to wait for that high chopper to come out of the sky.
And if Neal got a little further in, obviously he only can go where the high chopper takes him. But I thought for a second that he was going to be able to get in around the baseline and go for the tag of Castellanos. And at least if you stop him, you can run him back, throw it to first, and maybe get the double play that way. But Neal, I think, just couldn't get close enough to the baseline. Made sure of one.
2 men out, first and third for Detroit. They've got a 1-0 lead, 3 hits this inning. And Jose Iglesias getting 321 out of Havana, Cuba. A number of very good Cuban players make their way to the U.S. to play in the big leagues. And there has been some thought about moving Iglesias up in the order to maybe lead off or perhaps the 2 spot. But Brad Austin was saying yesterday that he thinks maybe he's hitting around 330 because he's in the 9 spot. Sometimes I guess it depends on where you hit, and that can affect how you hit. Brad Austin seems to like him in the 9 spot, at least for now. But you can't ignore the average. A little cube shot up the first baseline, foul.
Well, if I was Iglesias, I'd be trying to get into my manager's head to move me up to the 2nd spot. It would be nothing like getting behind a speedster like Davis and in front of a slugger like Miguel Cabrera. That'd be a good place to hit in that 2nd spot.
Well, you'd score more runs, perhaps, hitting in front of Cabrera.
Well, you'd probably get better pitches to hit hitting in front of Cabrera.
1-2, the count to Iglesias. Burnett set. And a ground ball to short. Mercer's got it, flips to Walker for the force out. A run comes in on 3 hits. The Tigers will strand 2, and Detroit breaks the ice after 2 innings. 1-0. Park when the Bucks host the Cleveland Indians at 4:05. Win great prizes from Eaton Park on an Eaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday. Get to Federal Street for a block party featuring food and beverages, live entertainment and games. Get your tickets at Pirates.com. 4th of July weekend is upon us. 1-0 Tigers, top of the 3rd inning here in Detroit. Back to the top of the order for the Bucks: Josh Harrison, Neil Walker, Andrew McCutchen. Pirates trying to get that run back. Josh is 0 for 1. Grounded out to third. 1 ball, no strikes to Harrison. Wide to the 1-0. A bouncer wide to third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh continues to lead all National League players in hits since mid-May. Since the start of play on the 14th of May, Harrison has 58 hits. Takes the 1-1 and drills it to left center field, splitting the outfielders. He'll head around first, over to second. Davis cuts it off right before the track, and that'll hold Harrison to a leadoff double.
He gets a hanging curveball. It's another one hard. Josh Harrison, not the real slow curveball we saw earlier in the game. It's 76, but up above the belt. Hey. Almost gets it to the wall. May have been a triple. But we'll take a double and see if we can manufacture one.
A double number 19 for Josh. So he's in scoring position for Walker, who is 1 for 1. And Neal swings and he hammers it down the right field line. Way back it goes, and it is gone. A home run. A 2-run shot for the Pittsburgh Kid, and the Pirates are in front.
Boy, that's better than manufacturing one. That's retaking the lead right there. One swing of the bat, looking for something in that he could pull. Simon obliged, came inside with what I believe was the cutter, and that's a tough one to keep fair. You got to put a good swing on it, and Neil Walker puts a great swing on it. Not the cutter, the straight 4-seamer up around the letters.
Nobody out. McCutchen keeps it going into center field with a base hit, and Kutch now has hit in 8 straight games.
You get a fastball up and in like this, I mean, you got to pull those hands in to keep it fair. And Neil keeps the hands in. He wasn't sure. Watching it pretty much the entire flight. Plenty enough distance.
Wrapped it around the pole. So Walker with home run number 5. RBIs 25 and 26.
If I'm not mistaken, I think for Neil, he has as many home runs now in July as he had in June. And Neil, I've always felt, is one of those guys that hit his homers in bunches. Things are just right. He's more of a gap-to-gap guy, and he'll hit the occasional home run. He doesn't create a whole lot of backspin, but when that swing's just right, put him in the seats.
Well, Neil Walker might have noticed the calendar flip from June to July. His average in July since 2010, 329. And the only player in the big leagues with a higher batting average during the month of July since 2010 is Melky Cabrera. Cabrera with a 346 average. Two-1 Pirates. And the 0-1 coming to Marte. Still nobody out. McCutchen at first. Nothing in 2. Pirates had a good month of June. 17-9. Do you get a half a win for July because of last night's game? How late it ended?
What's amazing, at 17-9 record in June, you lose a game in the standings.
Marte down on strikes just late on that one. 93 miles an hour.
Crowding him. That one up and out of the strike zone. Marte looked like he was just trying to foul it off.
Pedro Alvarez at the plate. Coming into the game against Simon, left-handed hitters hitting .274 against him. He's been giving the right-handers the most trouble. Righties hitting .193. Lefties considerably higher against him. Let's take a look at the Point Park University tweets scrolling across the bottom of the screen in reaction to Neil Walker's home run.
He loves driving in runs. A big one last night, 2 big ones early on tonight.
Pedro waiting for the pitch from Alfredo Simon. 0-1. Walker with the big blast this inning. 3 hits off Simon. A leadoff double by Harrison and a 2-run home run by Walker. McCutchen a follow-up single. He's at first. Marte has struck out, so 1 out. And a throw to first, and again diving back is Kutch. When you talk to National League players, and that's all they know is the National League, and they get to DH in the interleague games, they don't feel like they're part of the game that much. They're just told, well, I guess I better go hit now, and then they become a spectator.
I'm sure some guys wouldn't like it. I mean, if you're over, let's say, for instance, Pedro Alvarez, you wonder if he would have become a free agent, signed with the American League team, and they want to DH him. I mean, would he like that? I mean, I think it takes some getting used to.
Well, we're in Chicago against the White Sox. Have visited with Adam LaRoche, and even though he played in the American League with Boston in the past, he played first base. So he played the whole game. He told me that it was a big adjustment for him. With Jose Abreu at first base in Chicago, he said he's not going to get much time out there in the bag, but he said that he feels like a spectator on most nights. He goes up to the plate 4 times. Alvarez swinging and missing, and it's 1-2.
Simon working him away. A little tail on the end of that fastball.
Ball and 2 strikes to Pedro. Simon peeking over at McCutchen again. And Alvarez takes low. 2-2. Simon 1-1 in interleague play this season. He's done well in terms of not giving up runs. A 1.29 ERA. Pirates have changed that with the 2 earned runs so far. They're looking to inflate his ERA in interleague play even more. 7 hits for the Pirates. Top of the 3rd inning. Inside and low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So with a full count and 1 out, and Alvarez a potential strikeout candidate, do you send McCutchen maybe to stay out of a possible double play should Pedro put it on the ground?
Yeah, and again, what's more likely to happen, a swing and miss or a ground ball from Pedro? Andrew got to see Simon, and Simon's obviously thrown over there a bunch. He's pretty quick to the plate. There's only been 11 attempts all year against Simon. Successful base stealers 5 times.
Well, McCutchen goes, and Pedro puts it toward the right field corner. That is a fair ball. McCutchen will stop at third base. That ball bounced up over the side wall for a ground rule double. And for Detroit, that saved them a run. Cost the Pirates a run, perhaps, but they might still have a chance to get a man in here.
Pedro goes out, gets out and around that ball, maybe a little bit off the end of the bat. McCutchen going, and he kind of held up a little bit at second base, just fair. So it was a little bit of an unlucky break for the Pirates, but infield's back for Cervelli. You see just inside the line. Really like to get at least one of these guys home. Already 8 hits with just the 2 runs across on the Walker homer.
Double number 14 for Alvarez. He's 1 for 2. Middle infield conceding a run. And Cervelli hits it toward the middle. Kinsler will throw on to first to get him. McCutchen scores. It's 2-0. Rather 3-1. Well, Cervelli with an RBI.
Nice at bat. Just fundamentally sound. Get on top of the ball up the middle. I think he breaks his bat. He hits the ball off the end of the bat just a little bit. Pedro froze, went back. Thought maybe Kinsler would think about going to third there, but gets the shore out.
I think the easy part's getting the score right.
Yeah. Done that plenty of times.
3-1. And Polanco takes inside. So 2 outs. Alvarez at third.
Right on with the run differential.
So you'll give me partial credit?
Absolutely. That's all. People don't care if it's 2-0 or 3-1. It's still up 2.
It's a 2-run lead. That's what I was thinking. Yep. And it just came out the other way. 1-1 to Gregory. Polanco base hit in the second inning. Stranded at third. Like to see him heat up some. That'd be nice.
No doubt. That talent's in there. Just looking for some consistency, some confidence.
And the pitch. Polanco rips it into right field. A base hit. Pedro scores. It's 4-1. And the Pirates putting something together here in the third inning. RBI base hit, and Polanco is 2 for 2.
And you have to figure that Brad Ausmus, despite his starting pitcher already giving up 4 runs on 9 hits in just the third inning, he doesn't. You can't go to that bullpen early after the 14 innings last night. That sweet stroke from Polanco. Another hard hit ball. Maybe he is heating up. 2 hard hit balls. As many at bats.
2 outs. Jordy Mercer up. So Pedro comes in to score after the double. Gets away and down to second base easily is Polanco. And takes a big turnaround second.
Just a fastball. We'll see if it's even in the dirt. Yeah, a little bit in the dirt. McCann can't pick it, can't find it. Polanco thought of it, but wisely holds there.
Well, I think we've seen the arm of McCann already. I don't know if it's worth testing after the display he put on with his arm last night. Jordy, a ground ball towards short. Iglesias from the outfield grass spins and throws. Safe at first is Mercer. Polanco kept on running. It's 5-1. Gregory Polanco just never stopped.
And why would you? I mean, it's a ground ball. You figure if the play's made routinely, they're out of the inning. If something goes wrong, that's one you do. That's why you keep sending him around third base right there, because you know, Polanco knows he makes the play. Iglesias with an accurate throw, inning's over. If something goes awry, which does happen, and that's why you keep running around third base. The ball doesn't have to kick far away from Cabrera. And Polanco scores without a throw. Heads up base run.
Sean Rodriguez gets up there. He belts it to left field. That's down for a hit. The line is moving, and the Pirates have batted around in the third. Rodriguez 1 for 2.
we saw, this Iglesias, a very good defensive shortstop, but probably will be a Gold Glove winner sooner than later. But the whole fanciness, the spin, the drop down throw, at times that fanciness can get you in trouble. And I'm sure the Detroit Tigers here not, want to get out of this inning. And Brad Ausmus thinking without much of a bullpen tonight because it was used. How many pitches more does Simon have to throw? And that's out number 3. And although Cabrera probably tell you that he could have picked it or should have picked it, still here, plenty of time for Iglesias to get off a strong, accurate throw.
Yeah, and the off to use Albuquerque warming up. Iglesias, a tremendous fielder, normally makes the accurate throws, but did not. And a one hopper that was not handled, as you mentioned, Rock, by Miguel Cabrera, and that extended the inning. Harrison with a double and a run scored here already in the third. 2 men out, 2 on. And a bouncer to third base. Castellanos, the backhand, he'll step on the base to get the force out, and the inning comes to an end. 10 men come up. The Pirates a 5 spot. And this was the spark that got it all going. Down the right field line, Neil Walker, his 5th home run of the season.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin Furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Burnett deals to Rajay Davis as we start the bottom of the third inning. Pirates a 5-1 lead. 10 hits to just 2.5 innings of the ball game. Pirates have been up 3 times. 0-1 pitch and a slow roller. Charging is Harrison. Snaps the throw off to first base, and he retires Davis.
Easy play for Jay Hay because he was playing even with the bag, didn't have as far to go. And you'll hear Clint Hurdle talk about Harrison, maybe one of the best at throwing on the run. Took his time, threw a perfect strike over there to Sean Rodriguez.
How hard is that when you're moving full speed to get that accurate a throw time and time again?
Yeah, again, it's repetition. It's the more you do it, the easier it becomes. At third, you're going to get so much tail because of the angle over to first. The important thing is once you start your throw, you got to open up that front side and almost. You want to throw it, make sure you throw it inside the first base line because you know it's going to tail back towards it. You don't want to make that throw into the runner.
Kinsler takes up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pirates picked up some runs for A.J. Burnett. Since May 22nd, the Pirates are 17-2 when scoring at least 4 runs in a game. And they got 5. And Kinsler lofts that one a little bit further than Marte thought. He had to recover, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 out quickly in the Tigers' half of the third.
2 hard hit balls for Kinsler. His first 2 at bats, nothing to show for it. Kind of been feast or famine for AJ as far as run support. First 5 starts didn't get much. His next 6 starts got a bunch.
Miguel Cabrera struck out his first time up. Fouls this pitch into the Tigers dugout. 0-1. Cabrera hitting a near .348. 15 home runs and 53 runs batted in. Sort of par for the course for him.
You see something. Look at he threw a changeup in here. Just a bit down.
1-1 to Cabrera. Burnett comes off the mound. He throws off the back foot, and he got him. So 1-2-3, 3rd inning. Twice in 3 innings, Burnett has rolled him out. 1-2-3.
Inning, actually great day and a half for Neil Walker, and we're pleased to be joined by his father, Tom Walker. Tom, father's trip going on. Your son gets a game-winning hit in the 14th inning last night. Then he homers again tonight. What are these last 2 days like for you?
Well, this is exciting to come over here and see a lot of action like that. And I personally wanted to kiss him last night when when he drove in that run so we could go back to the hotel and get to bed. So nice. We got off to a good start today. Let's just keep it up. He's up to bat now. So.
Maybe you could replicate what he did last half. Now, last night's game took 5.5 hours, but you used to play for the Detroit Tigers. I believe it was back in '75. You once pitched one of the shortest games in baseball history. Tell us about that real quick.
It was July 7th, 1975, and I was pitching against the Chicago White Sox. Chuck Tanner was the manager. Jim Cott was pitching against me. And front to back, the game was over in 1 hour and 38 minutes. It was an amazing night.
Those days are long gone in baseball. Now, it's been a very good day for you today. First of all, congratulations. You were inducted into the Texas League Hall of Fame. We see a picture with you and Wayne Garland, one of your former teammates. What does that honor mean to you, and what's that like?
Well, I was just excited about it. I didn't know it was coming. The Texas League just had their all-star game in Corpus Christi. The president of the league called today and said that they had waited too long to induct me into the Hall of Fame, but that all really came and settled around the 1971 season there, where I pitched a 15-inning no-hitter, which Well, that probably won't be duplicated either. So it was a great night, and I'm honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Great stuff, Tom. Now, I got to call you out on one thing on live TV. Now, when Neil hit his home run, what were you doing?
Well, I had to go to the bathroom. Sorry, Rob. I couldn't wait anymore.
There it is. Tim and John, the more you know. Tom Walker made a quick pit stop when Neil went deep last inning.
That is our chief investigative reporter, Robbie Inzmakowski. You scooped everybody there, Robbie.
Congrats. That's pretty good stuff.
Well, fortunately for the proud dad, he's seen his son hit some big home runs in the past, including one here in this ballpark before. Tom Walker. Here's the pitch to Marte, 2 down. Neil grounded out to second. McCutchen grounded out to short. And how nice is it, though, to be able to watch your own son play in your hometown?
Yeah, pretty good stuff.
Not a lot of parents get that opportunity. There's a lot of travel involved. Oftentimes, big league baseball. But the hometown kid able to have his parents and family come out anytime they like to PNC. Just like when he was at Bradmar Pine Little League or Pine Richland. Talking about the path of the baseball with Polanco. Talking about that split finger pitch. One and 2 to Starling Marte. 2 down, bases empty. And the pitch from Simon. That's inside. You know, Brock, the 7 hits in the 3rd inning. The first time the Pirates had 7 hits in an inning since last year on the 14th of September against the Cubs in the 5th inning. It's not often you get 7 hits in an inning.
Nice. So they gave Jordy a base hit there. Huh?
They did. And Marte squirts it down the right field line. That's a fair ball, and Marte will head to second base, and he is in with a 2-out double. That's the 12th hit for the Pirates as a team.
Another extra base hit, perfectly placed. Marte was getting pounded in. This time looks like the cutter that was left in. Marte opens up a bit, but the bat stays on the ball, fights it off down the line.
Sam Holbrook, the first base umpire, right on it. He watched it bring up chalk. Runner in scoring position for Pedro, who is 1 for 2. Double number 15 for Starling. Alfredo Simon delivers. And Pedro swings and misses. Yeah, the play you were talking about, Mercer did get credit for a hit. There was an error charged to Iglesias that allowed Polanco to score.
That's what happens when you're swinging the bat good. You get the breaks. Seems like when you're struggling, you get none.
0-1. Pedro pulls a foul. 0-2. Alvarez with a ground rule double in the 3rd. His 14th of the season. He would eventually come around to score. Alfredo Simon beat the Pirates this year on the 15th of April at PNC Park, the opening home series. And he gave the Pirates some troubles last year while with the Reds, but so far tonight, Pirates have had the upper hand. Alvarez down on strikes. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left through 3.5. In the Motor City, 5-1 Pittsburgh.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Colorado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
On the UPMC scoreboard, the Pirates with 5 runs on 12 hits. The Tigers 1 run on 3 hits. Detroit's committed 2 errors tonight. Pirates winners in game 1 last night and early this morning, 5-4, 14 innings, and put a good down payment on things so far here tonight. A.J. Burnett with a 4-run lead facing Victor Martinez. Struck him out in the second inning. That starts him off with a strike. Switch hitting designated hitter. Batting cleanup. One ball and 1 strike.
We always talk about how hitting slumps at times. Pitching slumps as well. It's amazing. Simon just gave up 2 hits to the Pirates in 8 innings. 12 hits through 4 tonight.
Well, over his last 2 starts plus tonight, he has given up 26 hits and 17 runs.
Yeah, that'll crush the ERA, that's for sure.
2 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Martinez hits it right to Walker in the shift. Long throw to first to Rodriguez. And Martinez is out. 4-3, 1 gone for the Tigers. Our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. This date last season, just a year ago, the Pirates rallied from 2 runs down in the 9th against the Diamondbacks. Marte doubled home Walker and Polanco to tie it up at 2. Then Ike Davis delivered the walk-off hit with an RBI single that scored Starling Marte. The Bucks would beat the Diamondbacks July 1st, 2014. One of several big wins that Marte was involved in last year. On the way to another postseason for the Pirates. You know, last year, after 76 games, the Pirates were dead even at 38-38.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
They just got back to 500 after 76 games. And this year, after 76 games, they're 10 games over 500, so well ahead of the pace, yet still find themselves 8 games behind the streaking Cardinals. Cardinals 8-2 in their last 10, Pirates 4-6 in their last 10. That's part of the reason. After the Bucks had cut the division lead to 4, but the Cards would lose in extra innings to the White Sox last night, 2-1. Don't forget those 4 head-to-head games coming up right before the All-Star break at PNC Park. Those will be huge. Don't want to miss them. 1-2 pitch. And Cespedes takes low and away. Well, that's one of those series, Rock, where certainly the Pirates can gain some ground against the Cardinals, but a great home field atmosphere certainly won't go unnoticed by these players.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, and I'm sure Pirate fans will be out, selling the place out.
Cespedes pops this one up. It'll be playable for Rodriguez. And in foul ground at the 45-foot line, he makes the catch. 2 down.
You know, Sean Rodriguez is never going to stop. They're always going hard. A long run for him as he was deep at first base. And then with Cervelli going after it as well, you're always worried about a collision. Usually the guy with the equipment wins that one.
2 outs in the Detroit 4th. The batter is J.D. Martinez. Strike called to him. 1 for 1 tonight for Martinez. Base hit in the 2nd. Gets stranded at 3rd base. This guy can flat out hit.
Yeah, he's figured it out, that's for sure.
And he rips this one down to third. It's off the glove of Harrison for a base hit. 2-out single for Martinez.
Hit the fastball hard the other way, right center, into the gap. For a base hit, good play by Polanco, holding him to a single. And then he gets the breaking ball and pulls the hands in, keeps it fair.
He is hit safely in 17 of his last 20 games. Harrison got to it, but off the glove. And Castellanos the batter. Tiger third baseman fouls the first pitch off. 0-1. Castellanos an RBI base hit in the second. Kirk Gibson is back in the Tiger broadcast booth. And just at the beginning of the season, he was expected to be there, and now some health issues, Parkinson's disease he's been diagnosed with. But he was not here last night, but back here tonight working with Mario Impemba and Rod Allen on Tigers TV. Gibson had a brief stint with the Pirates, too.
Intense. Very intense. Kirk Gibson.
0-2 pitch to Castellanos. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He'd been the manager of the Diamondbacks up until last season. End of the season. Now trying his hand at the broadcasting business. 1-2 pitch. And Castellanos chases. That is strike 3. Tigers leave a man. Kirk Gibson is one of the favorite former Tigers of the folks who live around here. At Comerica Park here in Detroit. And it is now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use Pitt Data Strong Fan, the hashtag, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile in the hashtag Pitt Data Strong Fan. Tweet your strongest fan photo. Looking forward to seeing those. Alfredo Simon to face Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli had an RBI with a ground out in the third inning. That's 8 runs batted in for him over the last 6 games.
Yeah, and a lot of times just the fundamental, productive out driving in runs.
He's been doing a lot of things well. And when the Pirates picked him up, said, oh, okay, that's a good pickup, but how's he going to perform? He's had injury issues. He hasn't played in a full season, wire to wire yet. Well, I think he's answered some questions already.
Yep. Nice to see him stay healthy. I'm sure he didn't want to be hurt. I'm sure he's happy and feeling strong, getting regular playing time.
And this one fouled back. Two and two to Cervelli. Nobody on, nobody out. Pirates half of the fifth, and Alfredo Simon winds and delivers. Cervelli fouls it back, stays in there.
Taking his time here.
Sometimes you can tell when a pitcher's struggling by the way that they fuss around on the mound. Don't have much of a rhythm. Simon in no hurry. Strike three called. Cervelli goes down looking. One out for the bunch in the fifth.
Francisco thinking his pitch was up. Right at the top of the zone. Looks more like a slider. You look at their stats and they say he doesn't throw a slider. Just a cutter. About a 25% of the time. He's thrown a bunch of those right there. That looks more to me like a slider than a cutter.
This one's down the left field line, and Gregory Polanco has himself a 3-hit ball game, and he will cruise into second with a 1-out double. Stay hot.
Hopefully this is Polanco getting hot. 3 now hard hit balls going with this one. The pitch right on the outside edge. And when he's on time, it just looks so effortless and smooth and athletic. I think that this would get his confidence going, and hopefully a hot streak.
14th double and the 18th multi-hit game for Marte. 13 hits for the Pirates, out hitting the Tigers 13-4. Strike one to Jordy Mercer.
And against this offense, I mean, it's just a 4-run lead. We feel comfortable because the offense has struggled. We haven't had many big leads of late. And you want to keep taking advantage, keep pushing, push more runs across.
Simon inside move to second base. Nobody covering. Polanco not alarmed.
And that's the Detroit defense don't seem to be too worried about Polanco. With 1 out, this is a stolen base situation.
Al Albuquerque back up in the pen. Second time he's been up behind Simon.
They're giving Gregory a lot of room. Another inside move from Simon.
Kinsler a couple of steps over towards second base this time. Sneak over, keep Gregory close. Might be just a token move defensively. Now he'll back up, and Mercer will take a strike. 0-2 to Jordy. A.J. Burnett, 4-run lead. He has scattered 4 hits, given up just the 1 run. Mercer pokes this one to shallow right. J.D. Martinez on the run will make the grab. 2 men out. Let's take a look now at this Point Park University tweet. We peek into social media tonight. Huge Steeler fan wants to know, is it tough for position players to get themselves into a rhythm after a long extra inning game the night before?
Shouldn't. You know, they're rested. A night game, maybe if it's a day game after a night game, maybe they're a little sluggish, but especially the infielders. Infielders at the major league level, they can't afford to not be in a rhythm and be ready to go. You have to always be on the balls of your feet and ready every pitch. If you don't, you can get eaten alive, and you get embarrassed if you're not ready each and every pitch. I think as an outfielder, you know, you get at times very little action, and it's a little easier to kind of kick back and relax and maybe get on your heels a little bit. Maybe take pitches off here and there. But as an infielder, yeah, that ball gets on you in a hurry. If you're not ready, it could be tough on you.
Kutch's got the happy feet going. He seems to be fine, not phased at all by the early morning hour of the finish of the game last night. This morning. I think some of the players might have come over a little bit later than they normally would. Some guys come over very, very early, but the early bus today from the hotel was packed. A lot of players on that today.
Well, there were players on the announcer bus, which is very rare. Even AJ was on the bus today.
2-ball, 2-strike count to Sean Rodriguez.
Typically 2 buses. You know, one comes about 5 hours prior to the game. The other one comes 3.5 hours prior to the game. And usually that one that's today, I think it left at 3:15. Normally it's just a couple of announcers and Greg Johnson.
That pitch outside. Greg is our traveling secretary.
But today, you know, had some dads and at least a handful of players. A handful is a lot for a night game. Tomorrow, early bus, you'll have quite a few players on it.
Full count. Payoff pitch fouled off. I mentioned the Pirates with 13 hits. They have recorded double-digit hit totals against American League teams in 7 of their last 8 games against American League opponents.
Sean trying to make it 14, hoping to pick up an RBI as well.
Polanco standing at second base. It's his 5th 3-hit game of the year. First since the 6th of June at Atlanta. Payoff pitch. Got him swinging. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Alfredo Simon. Pirates get a hit and leave a man. 5-1 Bucks.
Presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Send your favorite Pirates to the 86th Major League Baseball All-Star Game. You can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Pirates.com. Voting exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at Pirates.com/votes. McCutchen, you can help get him closer to becoming a starter in the outfield. And for A.J. Burnett, 17 years, no All-Star appearances, but could he make it in his final year? There's a ground ball hit by the catcher, James McCann. Mercer throws him out. Quick out to start the Tigers half of the fifth.
I think the one stat for pitchers that stands out, or what means more than anything else, is the ERA. How many earned runs have you allowed? You know, AJ in the National League, third best in ERA. Starting pitchers in general can't control wins and losses. Depends on your own team and how many runs are scored. And at times, in Garrett Cole's case, I mean, could be sitting here today with 12 wins.
A bouncing ball foul by the shortstop Iglesias. And Burnett would have to be selected. You can't vote for him being a pitcher, but look at his ranks. He's 10th in road ERA, 3rd overall in ERA, tied for 7th in winning percentage. Well, maybe this year's the year. Maybe this year he gets to experience what many of his teammates have over the course of his long career. One to Iglesias. Ground ball wide at third, strike two. Bruce Bochy, the manager of the National League team. Again, he'll select his pitchers, name his starter. Garrett Cole making a bid to be the All-Star starter. And a bouncer to second base. Good hop for Walker. 2 out. Two ground balls and 2 outs in the Tigers half of the fifth inning. Let's look now at today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Corey Hart began a rehab assignment last night with Indianapolis, going 1 for 4. He also drove in a run. He's been on the disabled list since June 24th with a left shoulder impingement. He's eligible to return Tuesday at the earliest. His DL assignment retroactive to the 22nd. And this ball by Rajai Davis hit in the right center field gap. That's going to go to the wall, and Davis is going to run. He's around second on his way to third, and it is a triple for Rajai Davis. A 9-game hitting streak now for Davis, and his 7th triple of the season.
A breaking ball. They left it up a little bit, but not horrible. I mean, it's off the plate away. That's where you tip your cap. I'm sure AJ didn't want to leave it up around the belt, but you know, it was off the plate. Davis had to reach out there and extend the strike zone a little bit. And it doesn't matter how quick the outfielders are when you hit a ball that deep in that part of the ballpark. And you have speed like Davis, that's an easy triple.
Second baseman Ian Kinsler rips a ground ball to short. Mercer's there. 3 ground balls and a triple mixed in. Nothing across for the Tigers, and we move to inning number 6 in Detroit. Top of the order coming up.
Go behind him is Vince Harrison Sr. That is Josh's dad. And this morning, Josh and Vince were able to do something special. They're both fans of a TV show featuring a pawn shop here in Detroit called American Jewelry and Loan. The show is called Hardcore Pawn. And this morning, Josh Harrison paid a visit and sent out a tweet. They met with Seth Gold, one of the shop's owners, and had a little bit of fun. They negotiated behind the scenes, got to learn a lot about it. Seth said for Jay Hay, this guy can negotiate now anywhere he goes. Now that picture, Josh is looking through a magnifying glass. They used to look at jewelry. That is a fake Michael Jordan rookie card that was sold to American Jewelry and Loan as a real one. They paid full price for it, and they were showing Josh the intricacies of how stores like that get burned. Josh said he learned a ton about it, and it was a cool father-son experience, as both guys are big fans of the show, Tim.
Interesting business. He's getting a close look at the fake rookie card, right, Robbie? Yeah, fake Jordan rookie card. Well,
yeah, it's pixelated, and they didn't realize it at the time. And they had a guy that handled the sports part of the sports memorabilia part of the pawn shop, and they bought it, went for it, and they were showing it. But they used the same thing to look at diamonds too, because people try to pass off a lot of fake jewelry against them. And let's just say it was a nice learning experience for father and son.
The 1-2, and he chases one outside, and that is strike 3. So Josh goes down on strikes. Maybe that was a counterfeit strikeout. Wasn't real. Have to examine that one closely. Nope, that was a real one. Sorry. A real one. Josh is 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored now. 1 out for the Pirates in the 6th inning. A 5-1 lead. Neil Walker, a 2-run homer in the 3rd. And a base hit in the first, 2 for 3. And 1 to Neal.
Simon breaking out that split-fingered fastball more often here in the 6th inning. Later in the game, really a lot of fastballs, and the Pirates jumped on him.
Walker jumped on this pitch in the 3rd inning. Inside, he got the hands out. Knocked it right around the foul pole. Home run number 5. Time coming for Neal, whose last home run was on the 5th of June. And this one is off of Simon. Picks it up, throws to first. He throws it away. Walker is going to get, well, he got hit in the face. Cabrera inadvertently got Walker right across the face. He should be at second base, but he needs to be attended to. Todd Tomczyk, the trainer, sprinting out to check on Walker. That ball was thrown away by Alfredo Simon. Got it right across the bridge of the nose, it looks like. As his dad Tom watches on.
Check, make sure there's no concussion, or checking his nose. These are always dangerous. Throwing into the runner. Talking about that earlier with the throw from third, the angle, and seen first basemen end up with serious injuries. You see Neil Walker.
It's like the helmet came down on him, or just under the bill. I think that might be what he's talking about right now. I think he got hit on the bill of the helmet, didn't he? Knocked it right down on the bridge of his nose.
He'll be okay, thank goodness. And a hit for Neal, his 3rd. A painful one.
It's hit number 14 for the Buccos tonight. And McCutchen will look at a pitch low. He's still checking out the bridge of his nose. Pitch to McCutchen. Pulled foul. Andrew tonight is 1 for 3.
Andrew is looking in here. He's been seeing a lot of pitches inside, and that one well off the plate and kind of falling back on that back leg. Opened up a bit. You don't see him chase too many that far in off the plate.
One ball, one strike pitch. 2-1. The only player in the batting order without a hit tonight is Francisco Cervelli, but he does have an RBI. So everybody's contributed one way or another, 1 through 9 in the batting order. 2-2. Alfredo Simon was talking to the press yesterday about his splitter and how that if it's up around 88, 89, he doesn't get the break on it that he wants, doesn't get the movement on it that he wants. He wants to try to slow it down somewhere between 82 and 84 miles an hour. He thinks is where it's most effective.
Again, hasn't thrown all that many tonight. On the year, according to the data we have, he's been averaging 83.3 miles per hour on the splitter.
Tigers pitching coach Jeff Jones watching on tonight, keeping a close eye on Simon now that he is at the century mark in pitches. McCutchen pokes it foul and out of play. A couple of good members of the rotation there. Of course, David Price and then Justin Verlander, who's making his way back. Verlander had some control issues last night. He walked 5. Gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned over 6+ innings. But the way that he started the game last night, Rock, and the fact that he got 6+ innings, got into the 7th, it's kind of I guess a positive for the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, they know if he's healthy. And except for this year, he's been healthy. And when healthy, he's good. He had the best stuff last night. Pirates touched him up. Could have done more damage, but he did a good job of limiting the damage, especially early.
2-2 is fouled off.
Long at bat for Andrew, and expanding the zone a little bit, but fighting off some pitches.
Simon, and we told you about the 2 rough outings he had against the White Sox and Yankees prior to this game tonight. And of the 3, he's been hit the most tonight. The Tigers took 2 of 3 from the Pirates in April at PNC Park. The Bucs trying to at least return the favor with 2 wins, and they can pick one off tonight to get a chance tomorrow for 3 in a row. Two. McCutchen very late, strikes out. Fooled by the off-speed pitch.
Hanging. I think this was a split once again, and it was hanging. And Andrew saw it, just reacted late. I mentioned earlier, Simon just allowed 2 hits to the Pirates back on April 15th, but he only struck out 2. And now a season-high 14 hits allowed, but he's also tied his season-high in strikeout.
Walker on his way to second, and he swipes his 3rd bag of the year.
Sneak attack.
Runner in scoring position with 2 down.
Neil Walker, a big jump. Head down all the way. In there easily.
One and 0 to Marte. And Simon delivers. That's up high. Walker's not a guy you'd expect to take off all the time in that situation. I don't think the Tigers were really expecting him to.
Sneak attack.
Two balls, no strikes. In there.
Because of the Pirates, scored the 5 in the third. I mean, it's just a 5-1 game. It has a feel that the margin, the lead rather, is much bigger than it is. And I'm not quite safe. I'm waiting for additional runs, more insurance. And Neil in scoring position. Maybe Marte can drive him in.
More than likely the last hitter for Simon if he gets Marte. Of course, you don't have to worry about where the hitter comes up in the batting order in the American League. It's a lot different in these American League games. You don't look for that. It's something we're accustomed to looking for all the time, where the pitcher's hitting.
And the other thing is I mean, if you're down 5-1 and Simon's struggling the way he is, if his spot came up in the order, say the 3rd or 4th or 5th, and you're thinking, well, I can't let him go out, but we got to try to find a way to score runs, so you pinch hit for him. In the National League game, he's probably still not in there.
Bouncer down to 3rd. That's a fair ball. Backhanded by Castellanos. Safe at first. And on his way to 3rd is Walker. 3 hits for Marte.
Marte, all 3 of his hits, not exactly scalded. He had a infield single in the first, kind of an inside-out swing. It ended up a double in the 4th. Gets out of that box quickly. Yeah, there's just nothing an infielder can do.
And he indeed was the last batter that Alfredo Simon was going to face, but he didn't get him out. Marte, a base hit, and Simon is done for the night. Well, hopefully he gets it out of the way now.
Yeah, get that run out of the way.
Thank you, Rob. 2 outs, Al Albuquerque to face Pedro Alvarez. 5-1 Pirates with 2 men aboard. Top of the 6th inning. Pedro takes a strike. Alvarez with a double and a run scored in the 3rd inning. Albuquerque's 32nd appearance of the season.
The Pirates will have to worry about Carrasco this weekend. He will not be scheduled to start.
Gets away, and here comes Walker. He will slide in safely. It is 6-1.
Take it. Call that a wild pitch. Pitch way up out of the zone. Yep.
Caught a flyer, and McCann had to track it down. Walker coming home with 2 outs.
Take that hit.
Now the Pirates with a 5-run lead. And that puts Marte in scoring position. Pedro get him in. Tack on another. One and 2 to Alvarez. Albuquerque ready to throw. Pedro hits a bullet foul. So Alfredo Simon out after 5 2/3.
I have to assume that's career high in hits allowed.
15 hits allowed. He's on the hook for 6 runs right now. And still responsible for Marte at second base. The ERA jumps, at least right now, for Simon. He's up closer to 4. He started at 357. Up to about 390 or so.
His previous career high was 11 hits back in August. A couple of years ago.
394 would be his accurate ERA right now. 3-2 pitch. And a ground ball that is knocked down by Albuquerque. He will throw on to first. And they're going to say that Cabrera held the bag with his foot. But nobody seems to be in a big hurry to leave the field as Clint Hurdle has come up the dugout steps. And the Pirates apparently are not going to look at it as he's quickly back down the dugout steps, getting the word from Dave Giles. Bucks with a run on 2 hits. They lead the Tigers 6-1. Half of the 6th inning here in Detroit. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Neil Walker, a 3-hit game tonight. He scored twice. 2-run homer in the third inning. One of 3 Pirates with a 3-hit game. Polanco and Marte the other 2. And A.J. Burnett now with a 5-run cushion. He'll face Miguel Cabrera to start the bottom of the 6th. Strike call. The 15 hits the Pirates had off of Alfredo Simon, Brock. The most hits the Pirates have had off a single pitcher in a single game in quite a long time. Wow. And this one fouled off. Go back to the 17th of April, 1974. The Pirates had 16 hits in a game off of Bert Hooton of the Cubs.
That was a premature wow on my part. I heard it in my ear. I said wow before you gave him the information.
Wow, you jumped the gun.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, you knew at this TV thing?
Yeah, that was bad timing. You know, at home here, he'd only allowed 36 hits in 46 innings. I mean, 15 and 5 2/3. That's a rough night. And you know, made an all-star team last year, and you think 3 starts ago, he was probably thinking maybe he had another chance. He was 7-3 with 2.58 ERA. And you know, those hopes are dashed.
Cabrera takes a look at a pretty good pitch right near the knees. AJ not too happy with the call.
Let's take a look at the UPMC Sports Medicine strike zone. Just a bit down.
Marvin Hudson had it right. Payoff pitch now to Miguel Cabrera. Fouls it off.
Came right after him. And Cabrera, who struck out in the first. The 2-strike pitch was pretty much right down the middle, swung through it.
I mean, Cabrera tries to hit everything he sees. Even the ball that AJ threw back in, he didn't like it. Cabrera was looking like he wanted to swing at it. Just force of habit. Again, the payoff. Popped him up, jammed him, and Rodriguez will make the catch, and there is 1 out for Detroit in the 6th. Cabrera 0 for 3. Burnett with 69 pitches here in the 6th inning, so in terms of economics, he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, a lot of contact, not a whole bunch of strikeouts. Just throwing it in the zone, getting weak ground balls.
He's faced 3 men in an inning twice, 4 men in an inning twice. You know, Ray's got to like the fact that he probably doesn't have to tell AJ very much. 17 years of experience on the hill. Burnett's seen a lot out there, so.
Just let him do his thing, and especially a night like tonight where he's really making it look easy is AJ. And you need length as well. The Pirates, obviously, with the bullpen, using everybody, just about everybody but Worley in that 14-inning win.
And Ray making some teaching points, talking to Charlie Morton and Garrett Cole. Pretty easy. You say, see what that guy's doing? Just go out and do that.
This is how we do it.
Martinez to left center field, and Deep Marte on the run. He won't get it. And the ball bounces into the Pirates bullpen for a double for Victor Martinez.
First extra base hit allowed tonight by AJ. Breaking ball, that's a good approach. Outer half, stay inside. Don't try to pull it. Gapper. Mentioned earlier, AJ only allowing 3 home runs on the year. He's only allowed 19 extra base hits. And, when you're not allowing extra base hits, they got to string together many hits to score.
Pitch in the dirt. Martinez wasn't going, but since Cervelli couldn't find it, he goes down to third on a wild pitch.
That sounded weird. I'm not exactly sure what that hit. Francisco Cervelli.
Let's take a listen.
That sounded like skin. That's what was so weird about it. That didn't get any equipment. That just got skin. I guess right arm. Sometimes when a ball gets you good, it's always going to hurt, but sometimes you're getting the stitches from the baseball.
See if we can see where it hit him.
Ooh, the palm of the hand.
Well, that's a stinger, and he will make his way slowly back to home plate after getting a minute. Stewart making sure that he's ready to go just in case. The count is 1-0 to Yoenis Cespedes, who singled and scored the lone Tiger run in the second inning. Victor Martinez at third, 1 out, and Cespedes cut on a miss, 1-1. Cespedes hitting .295, 10 home runs, 42 runs batted in. And that's what they're telling their fans to do. They put it in paint on the grass.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, with J.D. Martinez in the year he's having, with twice as many home runs, more RBIs. Cespedes with a little better average, but I think the reason they're pushing Cespedes so much is because he's currently 4th in the voting, where Martinez is way down. Cespedes has a legit shot of being voted in as a starter if he can. I think Alex Gordon's 3rd, Mike Trout 1st, and Royal center field. Help me out. Kane?
Lorenzo Kane. There's a bounding ball over the mound. Pirates will trade the out for the run here as Victor Martinez comes across to score. It's now 6-2 on the RBI ground out by Yoenis Cespedes, his 43rd run batted in.
The Royals have stuffed the ballot and have some starters heading to Cincinnati. Some of their regulars, but yeah, so Cespedes, if they're hoping to get a push from these Tiger fans to have him take over one of those Royals outfielders so he can get a start. But you were right in saying J.D. Martinez probably more deserving.
Burnett's pitch to J.D. Martinez fouled off. He has 2 hits tonight, 2 for 2. But the fact that he had the 2-run home run in the 8th inning last night is something that's not really new for him in June, but he hit it off a guy who just doesn't give him up, and Tony Watson.
Yeah, I must say that's the swing of the night. I mean, the pitch was in a good location. It was off the plate inside. Guys usually jam themselves, or if they get to it, they pull it foul. He hits it out some 400+ feet to left center.
And a ground ball to third base, charged by Jay Hay, and he is not going to make a play. An error by Harrison. Well, that allows a base runner with 2 down.
charging all the way. And gets that in-between hop. That's what you try to avoid as an infielder, the in-between hop. You try to get the short hop or the ball on its way down. When you get a ball that bounces some 2-3 feet in front of you, that's a tough one. You're at the mercy of the hop sometimes. And if it just comes up, hits the heel of your glove or the palm of your glove, hard to hold on to.
Third baseman Nick Castellanos 1 for 2. RBI base hit in the second inning. For the Tigers with a run this inning, a double by Martinez. He'd go down to third on the wild pitch and then came home on the RBI ground out by Cespedes. Strike call, 1-1. Some weather affecting some games outside of here, Rock. Atlanta and Washington just getting underway. They had a long rain delay to start tonight. Pitch getting away from Cervelli, but nobody moving up. Also, the Cardinals and White Sox delayed, raining in St. Louis.
Some nasty stuff in St. Louis. The thunderstorms is a curveball. This time, Cervelli using the chest protector to keep it from going to the backstop. Nicely done.
Strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They're coming after him with a fastball. Pitch count at 84. Still in good shape. Bottom of the 6th. Pirates out hitting the Tigers 15-6. All 15 hits coming off of the starter, Alfredo Simon. Castellanos looks at a pitch just off the plate.
Holding his breath as the ball goes into Cervelli's mitt. And he knows it's off the plate, but you never know. That one gets 6-8 inches off.
Martinez will take off with this 3-2 pitch. Down to third. Jay Hayes got it. He'll go the short way. They get the force out at second. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. On to the 7th. Pirates a 4-run lead. Strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag Pitt Data Strong fan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Again, the hashtag PIT Data Strong fan. 4 words all together. Hashtag in front of it. Look forward to seeing those pictures, sir. They're in queue. Some still coming in. You can get yours in here as well. A.J. Burnett after 6 innings talking with his pitching coach. He says he's all right, so Ray says okay. Francisco Cervelli to lead off for the Pirates. Top of the 7th. 6-2, Bucks in front. Albuquerque's pitch inside. Cervelli wearing a batting glove on the right hand. We see him a lot with no batting gloves.
Maybe that's a little sore. That's the hand that wild pitch went off. We got a little padding in it.
Two 2-0 to Francisco. That's into left field, a base hit. And now everybody in the lineup's got a hit.
He was in a little mini slump. 3 for his last 16. That average as low as it's been, it seems, all year. It was now sits at 297. He takes that batting glove off that right hand, and I was wondering to see if we were going to see a wince when he made contact with that pitch, or any pitch. You just sit there and you hope he doesn't get jammed. I'm sure that wouldn't feel good.
Gregory Polanco, 3 hits tonight. Cervelli conversing with Cabrera. Fellow countryman from Venezuela. Polanco has 2 singles and a double, an RBI. He has scored a run. His average up a bit, 242. It started out at 233 tonight. He's ahead in the count against Albuquerque. Pulls a foul, 2-1. Polanco's hit safely in back-to-back games. Went 1 for 5 in game 1 last night from the leadoff spot. Count is even, 2-2. Be a quick turnaround after this one tonight. Pirates will send Francisco Liriano to the hill against Kyle Ryan. And a day game tomorrow, so some matinee baseball from Detroit.
Supposed to have beautiful weather. It's kind of nice, not having to worry about rain for a change. Day today, a little overcast, but very comfortable.
Inside the Polanco, throw down to first, and Francisco gets back. He's feeling the effects of, I think he got the glove in the face, didn't he?
Let's take a look.
Oh yeah, right across. Same thing happened to Walker. Got it right across the bill of the helmet, and then that drives the helmet down onto the bridge of your nose. Well, takes care of that. Chris Stewart, just in case. He wants to be prepared. 3-2, and a bullet that almost got Brad Fisher coaching at first base. Fisher out there coaching first. Nick Leyva is attending to some personal business. And Fisher coaching first during this series. Boom. Look at that. That's a good hard tag.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I mean, he hit him on the top of the helmet. It looked like it wasn't like, Walker got more in the face. He may have hurt his hand more than he hurt his head.
Ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. Let's take a look now at the Nissan Road ahead. Tomorrow, Francisco Liriano, 4-6, looking to add to his win total. Will face left-hander Kyle Ryan. Battle of lefties. Ryan 1-1. ERA over 4.5. So that is the battle for tomorrow. 12:30 on the air here at Root Sports. First pitch scheduled for 1:08 in the afternoon. And the Bucks come home and start a long homestand just prior to the All-Star break. 3 with the Indians. Interleague play. Indians pitchers will have to hit. And then 3 with the Padres and 4 with the Cardinals. So plenty of opportunities in early July, including over this holiday weekend, to see the Bucks at PNC Park. Make sure you get your tickets and get out there. Pirates have a great opportunity during this homestand to make a move on the Cardinals.
I was about to say, Jordy, get it ready for the fastball. That pitching coach come out there and Albuquerque, he'd probably say, hey, we need strikes. We need to get through this game. We don't have much pitching left. And I'm sure that was a little bit of a stern message. And sure enough, first pitch fastball right there to Jordy.
Mercer in the air to right, ball carrying. J.D. Martinez makes the play. And the runners have to get back. Cervelli won't. He's doubled off. J.D. Martinez with a marvelous play in right field for Detroit.
And still a pretty easy read if you're at second base. You go halfway and you shuffle off. You get about halfway between second and third, and you see if he makes the play. If he drops it, you score easily. If he catches it, you get back easily. But Cervelli was almost all the way to third base as he put on the brakes. He slipped a little bit, couldn't get back.
That is our Chick-fil-A double play. 9-4-6 on the putout. And Mercer not happy. He thought he hit it better than that.
He thought he at least had a double, and frustrated. Wanted an RBI, another hit.
Cervelli the out on the bases. 2 outs, 1 on.
And again, it's only a 6-2 game. This isn't a blowout. That's a big double play for the Tigers, pitching wise. And again, I mean, if he doesn't make that play, he just saves their bullpen 2 outs right there. And who knows how many more guys they use to become unavailable for tomorrow's game. I mean, you still want to grind, and you still want to make their guys work and put up as many runs on the board as you can.
Well, last night they had to use everybody. Jabba Chamberlain is up. Tom Gorzolani pitched. He was the last pitcher in the bullpen available, and then the Tigers had 1 of 2 options after that. It was either move Kyle Ryan, tomorrow's starter, up, or go to a position player, Pittsburgh's own Josh Wilson, who had pitched just a few days ago in New York. It was his 4th appearance as a pitcher in the big leagues. And I talked to Josh about that today, and he said that, yeah, there was a little conversation, a little thought about the fact that he had to get ready once Gorzolani got in the game, that if that game got extended to the 15th, maybe the 16th, he would have been called upon again.
Which would have been a shocker. If you're in a tie game, you're going to go to a position player. That would be a shocker.
Rodriguez chases that one and strikes out. Nothing across for the Pirates. One man left. It's stretch time in Motown. 6-2 Bucks. Allegheny Health Network Supermo providing us with more great shots here in Detroit. 6 runs, 16 hits for the Pirates. 2 runs, 6 hits for the homestanding Detroit Tigers. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Pirates looking for a series win. And A.J. Burnett will start the bottom of the 7th inning with a 4-run lead. First pitch to McCann is a strike. 0 for 2 tonight. He's hitting .260. Had 3 hits in game 1 last night. Well, you got to look at what Burnett's doing here, Rock. This is another quality start for him. That's 13 out of 15.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can get through this one quickly. I'm sure he'll probably lobby, if he does get through this inning quickly, for an opportunity to go out in the 8th to save that bullpen. Fastball gets a call, does A.J.
McCann fights this one off.
Yeah, that was impressive. How does he get a piece of that one? The curveball way out, way down. Usually a guy swings at this, he's at strike 3. Look at that. Landed in the left-handed batter's box.
Well, Alex Avila, the normal starting catcher, began his rehab assignment in the minor leagues. He's had a left knee problem, but McCann has filled in well. Has really impressed the Tiger brass. Ground ball to the right side, a base hit. Leadoff single. 1 on, nobody out. And now Iglesias, the number 9 hitter, will face Burnett.
Look what Avila's done in the last 3 years for the Tigers. A .243 average back in 2012. 2013, .227 hitter. Last year he hit just .218. 11 home runs each of the last 2 years. And so it's not like, he's a good defensive catcher, but not a great offensive guy. And so this guy's certainly opening some eyes and maybe making a decision tough here in the near future.
We saw Glenn Hurdle call out to the bullpen. Get those guys scrambled. Iglesias bunts. And foul ball.
He figures he'd try to get on with a bunt. This ball comes up and gets a piece of him while he's still in the batter's box.
Tries to bunt again. This time it's outside.
He came into this series hitting .330, but 0 for 8, 0 for 6 last night. A couple ground ball outs today.
Two and one to Iglesias. The bunt puts it hard down the third base side. J-Hay throws him out. That does get a man into second base, but a good play by J-Hay. His throw just ahead of Iglesias.
And they're probably going to give him a sacrifice bunt. And I'm sorry, but you're down 4 runs. I mean, and this is a selfish play for me because you're sitting here thinking, I'm just going to bunt because at the very least I get a sacrifice. J-Hay's playing him in. He goes up there 3 straight times. They need base runners. They don't need sacrifices. That's just a poor play when you're down 4 runs in the 7th inning.
Waiting to see how the official score will score that. It's an out nonetheless, but they are scoring it a sacrifice. Much to your chagrin, John, and mine too.
Yeah, if you just make it a fielder's choice or a ground out, then you won't do that sort of thing.
Rajai Davis hits a ground ball to short. Mercer throws him out.
And more bad base running as McCann with the ball right in front of him breaks for third. Jordy Mercer just making sure of an out.
Well, coming up this Friday, it is a free shirt Friday. The first 20,000 fans through the gates at PNC Park receive this Pirates t-shirt. The Indians are in town for a 7:05 start. Make sure you stop by Federal Street before the game for the Barrel Automotive Block Party, live entertainment and food. You can stop by the Line and Kugel Bar, pirates.com/free shirt Friday for tickets. Thank you, Garrett. Ian Kinsler, the batter, with 2 down and a runner at third. Strike 1 to Kinsler. .259 the average for Kinsler. 0 for 3 tonight. He's flied out, lined out, and grounded out. And another strike.
Late movement, borderline pitch on that outside edge.
No balls, 2 strikes. AJ set. And his 100th pitch results in a strikeout. And Kinsler taking it out of the equipment. On to the 8th inning. Pirates with the advantage. And Burnett done after 7 innings. Comes into the dugout, gets the customary handshakes. And a good outing, another quality start. 13 of his 15 starts have been quality starts. He's in position to pick up a win, pitcher record here. Good smiles from everybody.
Tell you what, you think there's probably people out there waiting for the other shoe to drop on AJ. And come in here to Detroit and face this high-powered offense, and AJ just breezed right through it.
So he's now in line for his 7th win. Jabba Chamberlain will take over for the Tigers and face the Pirates in the top of the 8th inning.
3.10 ERA through 28 appearances, covering 20 in the 3rd innings. The league hitting a pretty healthy 321 against him.
So Albuquerque, his 2nd appearance in as many nights. Chamberlain, Albuquerque went an inning and a 3rd. 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Didn't give up any runs. All 6 runs charged to Simon. Jay Hay swings and misses. And this one is hit in the air to right field. Going back, Martinez. He'll make the catch right in front of the track. 1 out for the Pirates in the 8th. Jerry with 1 hit tonight. 1 for 5. Java will now face Neil Walker. Walker, 3 hit night, 2 singles and a home run. Strike 1 to Neal. Well, looks like a pitcher's duel in New York tonight between the Cubs and Mets. Rock, top of the 9th, no score.
Mets just can't score.
Good seat. And Walker to left field. That's toward the corner. And this ball is gone. A home run off the top of the wall. And Walker's got a 2-homer night. 4 hits for Neal. It is 7-2.
Love to get this bat hot. Neil Walker. We talked about it from the early going. Just 4 home runs and 24 RBIs coming into tonight's game on July 1st. Neil is a run producer. Capable of hitting the ball at the ballpark. Capable of driving in a bunch of his teammates. Well, he can drive himself in once again. The ball running away from him. Man, look at how pretty. The head down, short and quick through the ball, the high finish, and just enough distance.
1 hop home run. 1/3 of Walker's home runs this season have come tonight. We told you that in July, he's a .326 hitter. Since 2010, only 1 other player in baseball has a higher batting average during the month of July. During that time, and that is Melky Cabrera, but Neal right up there, and he knows the calendar's flipped. McCutcheon a grounder to short. Iglesias checks the ball, flips to first, and there are 2 men out. And Neal hit this just about exactly 345 feet.
That looks like that part of the wall is almost shorter. It sticks out. There's something, maybe a door there. And Neal will take it.
Last multi-home run game, the 14th of April of last year. Marte takes a strike. Marte a 3-hit night tonight. He's got 10 games this year with at least 3 hits. And he hammers one. This one is gone. Party time in Detroit. Jabba Chamberlain has surrendered 2 solo shots for the Pirates here in the 8th. And it is 8-2.
Boy, anything you can do, I could do better. Starling. 4-hit night of his own. The first 3 weren't hit all that well. That ball was crushed. I looked down there to make sure Tom Walker was there to see Neal hit his second homer of the game. Didn't see him, but I saw Starling Marte's dad stand up when that ball met the bat.
Dad's name is Ramon. Ramon on this trip with Starling. Bang, look at that. That's right in the wheelhouse.
Yep, that's a hanging slider. And that's hit a long way.
Three home runs for the Pirates tonight. Bats really have shown up. 18 hits.
I mentioned that batting average against Chamberlain, 321 coming in, but he's only allowed a couple of long balls.
Charlie Morton's dad sitting next to Jordy Mercer's dad. And a foul ball by Alvarez. This is the first 3 home run game for the Pirates since the 28th of May at San Diego. Two players with 4-hit games, Walker and Marte. Polanco a 3-hit game. And the Pirates up 8-2 in the 8th. There's Ramon Marte on the left, and in between the orange, that is Pedro Alvarez Sr. Lorenzo McCutchen right in front of Pedro. And this one is hit high and deep, and El Toro strikes again. The 3rd home run of the inning for the Pirates. It's 9-2. Wow. That was a monster. And Pedro Sr. handshakes, smiles.
That's a long way out there, and he hit that so high you wondered, Pedro, you have enough strength? Wow.
Marte and Alvarez back to back.
That's another hanging breaking ball. Just like Marte, up, out over the plate.
How often does that happen when you get back-to-back home runs and the guys who hit him's dads are sitting next to each other?
I'm sure Mr. McCutchen would like his son to get involved as well. Who knows if we'll get another opportunity.
Last time the Pirates had a 3 home run inning was against the Cubs on the 13th of September 2013, and one of the players who hit one tonight was involved. Pedro Alvarez, Russell Martin, and Garrett Jones went deep.
I don't know about Russell Martin, but I know Garrett Jones went deep today also.
I can check for you.
Toronto scored a bunch of runs.
Well, Derek Jones did. He hit his 5th for the Yankees. And Cervelli fouls this one back. And Russell Martin did not. Justin Smoke had 2 of them, though. Jose Bautista hit his 16th. Pedro Alvarez with an absolute bomb to the deepest part, one of the deepest parts of this ballpark. There's a lot of deep parts to it. And Pedro crushed it. Marte hit his really well also. And Walker's off the top of the wall bouncing over. So Jabba Chamberlain has faced 5 hitters this inning. 3 of them have gone deep. Cervelli checked his swing. Full count to Francisco Cervelli. He had a base hit in the 7th. Pirates with 19 hits in this game.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Francisco Cervelli pick up number 20.
And that one a great stab, and he dropped it. Oh, Iglesias made the first part of the play and then lost the handle on it. And Cervelli is safe at first.
And it has to be hit number 20.
And it will be the 20th hit for the Pirates. And Brad Ausmus has seen enough of Jabba Chamberlain tonight.
And then the pick. And once he catches that, you figure he's going to come up and make that throw. Once you catch it, that was the hard part, catching it. The throw should have been the easy part. It lost the handle.
9 runs on 20 hits. A pitching change in Detroit. On the board for the Bucks, winning 9-2, top of the 8th. New pitcher Hardy, and Gregory Polanco skies the first pitch to left field. Cespedes underneath it. He'll make the catch, and that will put out the fire in the 8th inning that was started by Jabba Chamberlain. 3 home runs for the Bucks: Walker, Marte, and Alvarez. 135. All kids 14 and under get an inflatable chair courtesy of Huggies, Cottonelle, Giant Eagle, and Viva. Get to the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street before the game and stay after when kids get to run the bases. Compliments of the original pizza laws. For tickets, go to pirates.com. Pedro Alvarez, home run number 11. 2 extra base hits tonight. First time the Pirates have had 20 hits in a game since the 2007 season when they put 20 up on the Cardinals on the 1st of August.
He's looking to improve on those numbers. 2.65 ERA, 39th appearance.
Hughes facing Cabrera. And that game against the Cardinals was at home in 07. And the Pirates got 20 hits on the road last time in 2004 on the 13th of May at Colorado. They collected 21 hits in that ball game against the Rockies. The hitting guys, Jeff Lizzie, Jeff Branson. They kind of sit back, relax tonight. Job's done.
They work awfully hard. It's probably the toughest job in baseball is the hitting coach. So much more than a coach. Psychologist.
Bouncer to third. And Harrison's throw a little high, but Rodriguez able to handle it. And there's one down. Miguel Cabrera 0 for 4. So 3 home runs in the 8th inning for the Pirates. And the last reliever to give up 3 home runs to the Bucks in 1 inning was Dario Veras of the Padres, April 16th, 1997. Tony Womack, Jermaine Allensworth, and Kevin Elster hit him.
Wow. Elster, no surprise. And Womack and Jermaine Allensworth, a bit of a surprise.
It was also the 8th inning. Victor Martinez hits one down the left field side, foul. Starling Marte heading back to his position after chasing that foul ball. Marte's home run, very impressive. His 13th of the season. Marte now with 47 runs batted in. And Victor Martinez might have been hit there. He's going down to first base. He had some words last night after he was hit by Garrett Cole. Now he gets hit by an inside pitch here.
Looking to pitch him inside. And off the left foot, it looks like. Hit the left foot in the inside of the right calf. Got both legs.
Well, 1 out, 1 on. You want to Cespedes the batter. One for 3 tonight. He scored the first Tigers run in the 2nd inning. Down at 294. And the pitch from Hughes is down and away.
Missing with location, Jarrett trying to get that ball inside to Cervelli, but pulling it across his body a little bit. That pitch was actually borderline, but outside the body of Cervelli. Had to backhand it. You see there at the bottom of the strike zone. Doesn't get the call because of where Cervelli was set up.
2-1 pitch. Yeah, swinging, chase that one.
Good movement, 95. It's hard to imagine to get the how a pitcher can get that much movement from a pitch thrown that hard.
Well, the rain has lit up in St. Louis, and the Cardinals and White Sox getting underway finally. Long delay. They'll be playing late into the evening there. And Cespedes goes down on strikes. Strikeout for Hughes. 2 men out for the Tigers in the 8th.
And I think this ball bounces in the dirt. You don't see many big league hitters swing a fastball that bounces in the dirt. And that's just crazy movement. No, didn't bounce in the dirt. Just got the bottom of the glove. But still, fastballs that low typically are taken without any kind of movement. Jared Hughes has some velocity going tonight.
Hughes appearing on back-to-back nights. He faced one hitter last night. Miguel Cabrera got him out. Got him out already again tonight. Bounding ball, foul for strike 2. Martinez has made some good plays in the outfield, especially the one on Jordy Mercer. That was in the 7th inning. Turned into a double play. 0-2 pitch. Trying to get him to chase it outside. He wouldn't bite.
Even the slider. Look at that, 89 miles per hour. Jared Hughes feeling good, letting it go.
One-two pitch. And that's in the hole into left field, and a base hit for Martinez. His 3rd hit of the game. 4th time he's reached base.
You don't see that very often. A catcher giving a sinker ball pitcher a high sign. You know, he wanted that ball up from Jared Hughes. For a guy that, you know, relies on movement and has that ball run down and out of his zone, and he gets guys hit a lot of ground balls. With Cervelli, you know, was kind of wanted it up around the belt. Look where he sets up. He's like, hey, let's get this up a little bit. Let's get it right. And he goes down, then back up, and ends up right around the knees. Martinez just continues to swing a hot bat.
And Castellanos the batter. 3rd baseman with 2 on and 2 out. Ball 1 inside. And tomorrow we might expect some adjustments in each lineup with 2 left-handers going. Liriano for the Pirates, Ryan for the Tigers. Pirates will go with a heavy right-handed lineup.
Maybe you figured Jung Ho will be in there.
And a DH tomorrow. Who will that be?
It'll be interesting to see, you know, with Knight, Neil Walker's hat, and Gregory Polanco. It's not a given that those 2 are not in the starting lineup. I do foresee Jung Ho Gung being in there, though.
Well, the game-winning hit that Neil had last night was right-handed. We've seen Andrew McCutchen DH once already this year. Maybe he gets the call tomorrow, and Marte moves over to center.
So that could be a possibility. I guess that would move Jay in the outfield, unless Clint Hurdle gives Gorkis Hernandez another start.
Two. And a ground ball to short. Mercer there. He'll go to 3rd for the force out. And the Tigers are done in the 8th. We head to inning number 9. It's a 9-2 Pirate lead. Charlie Hayes explains why the Buccos are a perfect fit for his son. Chris Peters finds himself in the right place at the right time when his former team needed a little help, and much more on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. Jared Hughes coming into the dugout, visiting with Francisco Cervelli and Ray Searage. And what you were talking about earlier, Rock, looks like he's talking about that call for the high pitch.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's hard to say exactly, but yeah, it's like we don't want to throw sinkers high. We want to keep sinkers low. And who knows? But Hughes had good stuff tonight. Was throwing hard and that great movement as always. And that one called high sinker, the ball hit hard off of him.
Well, Hardy delivering now to Jordy Mercer. 1-1 to Jordy. Mercer, then Rodriguez, then Harrison will get another crack. 2-1 the count. Hardy, who came in for Java Chamberlain, 33rd appearance.
Yeah, opponent's only hitting .220 against them.
And this one is up in the air and deep down the right side. In the corner, it is J.D. Martinez making the catch in fair territory. Second time Mercer's gone deep to right. And the second time he has been retired by J.D. Martinez.
Stay with that approach, though, Jordy. Don't change a thing. Very close. Driving a couple balls out of the ballpark that way.
Anthony Gose moves out to center field. Change for the Tigers. Rodriguez takes a strike.
Davis moved to left.
And there's Josh Wilson out of Mount Lebanon High School. He is at second base. A great visit with Josh today. You'll hear that on radio pregame tomorrow. Rajay Davis now over in left field. Cespedes out. Josh Wilson, I guess you'd call Josh a survivor. There's Romine out at first base now. Played a little third last night. getting back to Wilson, he gets to work out with Neil Walker and Don Kelly in the offseason. And he has been with 14 different organizations. 8 of them in the big leagues. Rodriguez grounds out. There were 2 men out for the Pirates in the ninth.
Well, obviously a hard worker is Josh Wilson, and just keeps going at it, taking advantage of opportunities, showing obviously a number of organizations that he could play at this level. I'm sure his dad's fine, or very proud rather, watching in at home. His dad's great too. His dad goes all over the place and teaches and coaches, and he's a great baseball man.
There's one of his part-time workout partners. Yeah, Josh's dad, Mike, coached baseball at Duquesne for 17 years.
A shame, that the program they dropped baseball.
Harrison, a bouncer foul down to third. I remember talking to Jim Tracy about that because his son played at the time when they announced the cancellation, and he was speechless. If you can get Jim Tracy speechless about anything, it's pretty serious. In fact, I saw Josh and his dad at a Pirates function this offseason. That's right on the line. A fair ball dropped by Castellanos, and Harrison's going to be safe. And it was about a week before Christmas, and Josh didn't have a job yet. A week later, he got a call from the Tigers. And he said, "Yep, I'll see you in Lakeland." So Harrison is aboard with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning.
And they're trying to decide how to do this. As third baseman retreats a bit and then loses the handle. And Jay Hay will peek up there and come on, put up number 21. Still haven't decided.
Well, last night they waited a long time to make a scoring decision on one particular play. They waited to the next batter. How about that for a night? 4 for 5 for Neal, batting right-handed for the first time.
He has to think of it. Have 3 in a game, 1 from each side, or at least 1 from each side of the plate. Has to be thinking about it.
Nothing and 2 the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, you hear the stories of Neal in high school doing that, homering from each side of the plate. Archimedes Caminero standing up on the hill. And gets away, and down to second base goes Jay Hay in a wild pitch. So the scoring decision has just been announced on the play involving Josh Harrison. It will be a hit. He has 2 hits tonight, and the Pirates with a season best 21 hits.
Now we'll peek up at the auxiliary scoreboard. There's no doubt he's peaking.
Oh, yeah.
The hitters, they're always peaking.
First time in 11 seasons the Pirates have had 21 hits on the road. Top of the ninth, 2 down. Harrison in scoring position for Walker, and a 3-2 pitch coming from Blaine Hardy. And Walker goes down on strikes. 4 for 6, still a pretty good night for Neil Walker. Allegheny Health Network Supermo showing us a blast of an 8th inning. 3 home runs. Walker, Marte, and Alvarez back to back. Pirates wrap up this series from Comerica Park with a matinee game tomorrow afternoon. Catch all of the action starting at 12:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. 9-2, 3 outs to go. Archimedes Caminero will face James McCann, Jose Iglesias, and then Rajai Davis. 8-9-1 due up for Detroit.
Finish things off. 3.34 the ERA. Opponents hitting just 203 against them.
And this one is hammered high and deep and far and gone. And James McCann with his 4th home run, an absolute no doubter, makes it 9-3. He was hunting for that first pitch from Caminero.
He got it. He's impressive. Oh, look at that. 97 on the inside corner. No doubter.
Iglesias takes a strike. How fast did this ball leave the ballpark? The estimated exit speed 106 miles an hour. And Iglesias, ground ball to right field and a base hit.
He finally gets a hit against the Pirates in this series.
Well, that young man there is opening eyes by the day here in Detroit. They know they have a good prospect. They know they have a good young catcher. But they've got a veteran coming back off a rehab stint. McCann is trying to play his way into this Detroit lineup on an everyday basis.
Well, that's impressive. I mean, we've seen him drive the ball out to right. Obviously, can drive the ball out to left. Can throw.
Okay, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's going to give American League would-be base stealers fits for a number of years, it looks like, coming up. Just a matter of when he can start being that everyday guy. Might not be for a while. Then again, the old saying is the players make out the lineup card.
In some cases. Vila make some money.
Rajai Davis, a high fly ball. Polanco with the catch. And Iglesias back to first base. 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Young Pirate fans excited. It's a 9th inning boogie right there.
Pretty good stuff. Man, that is really good stuff.
Dance like nobody's watching. Here's Josh Wilson. And Josh, grounder toward the middle. Walker flips to Mercer for one. Back to first. Too late. Fielder's choice for Wilson. They get the out of the middle. And there are 2 men down.
A little off the end of the bat, looked like for Josh. Thought maybe, yeah, he's going to pick up a base hit up the middle. Gearing up against the velocity. This will pick up and flip from Neil Walker.
Well, Dancing Dan and his friend, and now the sister. And Pop in the back, he's entertained. Andrew Romine pulls this one foul. 1 out to go. 2 down, bottom of the 9th. Pirates up by 6, a 9-3 lead. Neil Walker, big night, 4 for 6. 2 of those home runs. And Romine lobs one into right field for a hit. This is the 3rd hit off of Archimedes Caminero. So now the Tigers runners at first and second. And the designated hitter Victor Martinez will dance up to the batter's box.
I don't even think they need to use it.
How many cotton candies you think they had tonight? Martinez hit by a pitch in the 8th. Strike call. 99-mile-an-hour heater to Martinez.
After he mentioned his lack of respect for Garrett Cole and Pirate coaches, and I'm guessing after being hit his last time up, he didn't change his mind, didn't gain any.
And a bouncing ball to Walker. This should do it. And the Pirates have taken this series with the Detroit Tigers winning the first 2. They'll have a chance for a sweep tomorrow afternoon as Archimedes Caminero finishes it up. But a big night for the hitters. First time in 11 seasons the Pirates have put 21 hits on the board in a game.
Lots of fun tonight. Yeah, just a relaxing game. AJ was on cruise control because his offense gave him the big early lead, the 5-1 lead after 3 innings. And I'd like to see the big flies too, the home runs. We talked about Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, 2 home runs total between the 2 of them the entire month of June. 3 the first day of July from those 2 guys. And so you hope that the big fly starts being a big part of the offense. And overall, you like to see the offense being a little more consistent in scoring runs.
They've raised it here in Detroit. Pirates winners 9-3 to go to 11 games over 500 at 44-33. Let's take you back to our Root Sports studios in Pittsburgh. Rob King and Kent DeCalvi are there standing by.